Thank you. Thank you all. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you to Shabtai for being such an important force for good. It has played such an important role in the lives of my children when they were at Yale. I want to thank Rabbi Hecht. I was with him, as a matter of fact, not so many years ago to celebrate in the home of Benny Shabtai the release of a hostage, Gilad Shalit, after 5 years. One hostage after 5 years. And now we face this absolute atrocity of hundreds, more than 100 hostages, 1,300 people killed, the biggest loss of life in a massacre since the Holocaust. I am here to say, very simply, I stand with Israel. I stand with Israel. I grieve with Israel. I pray with Israel. And like many of you, I have a personal connection with Israel. One of my cousins is at the front already. My dad, when he came to this country in 1935, he was 17 years old. He spoke no English. He had not much more than a shirt on his back, and he knew no English, was escaping the Holocaust. And he brought over his siblings. One of them went to Israel. My cousins there are living with this horror. All of you, I would guess, have some personal connection of some kind. And I am here to say to you, all of you, in the midst of this feeling of isolation and aloneness, you are not alone. You are not alone. The community is with you. And Israel will prevail. But it needs more than words. It needs more than condemnation. It needs more than speeches. It needs real support. And so beginning tomorrow, we will be putting together not just a resolution, which is good, but also a package of specific aid measures. I'm on the Armed Services Committee, and I've been in touch with the authorities that are important, representing Israel, as well as representing our own military leadership. We are going to give them more of the interceptors they need to replenish the stock for the Iron Dome, more precision-guided munitions for their planes, more artillery, which they will need, and humanitarian aid. Specific measures in addition to the $3.8 billion that we give them every year, as part of our memorandum of understanding with them. Specific, tangible, effective aid is absolutely necessary, not next month, but tomorrow. Israel needs that support tomorrow. And I know it's going to be a painful time. You know, we're here just a little bit more than a week after the murderous, brutal, inhumane attack. But we need to be prepared for the long haul. This is a marathon, not a sprint. This will take time, and it will be painful and difficult. And so the second point I want to make to you is you are not alone, but be strong. Be strong for Israel. They are strong because they know they have no place else to go, as you've heard. I want to make sure that everyone understands that Israel will do everything it can to minimize civilian casualties. You may have heard me say precision-guided munitions. The kind of arms that we are giving to Israel will better enable it to target specific points where Hamas is hiding or concealing hostages in a way that avoids needless bloodshed and loss of life. And there is also an effort to establish a corridor so that civilians can exit, humanitarian relief to the Palestinians, because very, very true, this war is against Hamas, a terrorist organization. It is not against the Palestinians. So be strong and remember that this fight is a moral one, as well as a political and military one. And as you've also heard, and you know before you came here, Hamas is a terrorist organization. It's not seeking more land or different boundaries. It is seeking to kill the Jewish people, to end the Jewish people, to end the state of Israel. And every Jew in Israel is an enemy for them. My father knew about the Holocaust. And I once said to him, you know, Dad, Holocaust can never happen again. Genocide, we know, not going to happen. My father said to me, genocide can happen whenever there is hatred. And that is what we are seeing, pure evil and hatred. We're seeing it also in Ukraine. I visited Ukraine 4 times in the last 18 months. I've been a champion of aid to Ukraine. I visited the town of Bucha, which is about 10 minutes from the place where President Zelensky has his bunker. That's how close the Russians came to him. And in Bucha, the Russians tied women and children's hands behind their back and shot them one by one in the head. Same story as the Holocaust, genocide. They killed those Ukrainians, women and children, and buried them in a mass grave that I saw in Bucha, just because they were Ukrainians. So what Ukraine and Israel have in common is they are brave, determined people fighting for their homeland, fighting for their existence against a tyrant in Putin and a terrorist in Hamas. And we should support them both. But Israel needs this aid now. And I want to just close with one more thought. This effort has to be bipartisan. You know, Israel should be above politics. There should be nothing red or blue. We cannot allow this effort to be made a wedge issue. We cannot allow it to be mired in partisan politics. Some are trying to do it. We need to come together. And we need to come together as part of this package, not just aid for Israel, but also support for security at home. Support for the kind of security that, unfortunately, is necessary right now at this place, the police outside, at synagogues, at places of worship, all around Connecticut, all around the country where there have been threats. What we are seeing is the rising tide of extremist violence in this country, inspired by the same forces that support the terrorists abroad. And I will look to double or triple the amount of money going into the nonprofit security fund, which enables more police protection, better security, better training and education for the safety of people when they worship, when they meet, when they come together as we are doing tonight. I know there are many here, or at least some, who are not Jewish, who may be here out of a deep sympathy with Israel. I can't see all of you back there. I am amazed at this turnout. But all around Connecticut, I can tell you at rallies, and I've been to now 7, I think, in the past few days, there has been an outpouring of support for Israel. You can take back to Israelis, as I have been saying to my family and friends there, America stands with Israel. Not just the president, not just congressmen or senators, but the people of America stand with Israel. Jews, non-Jews, people of different races and religions, because domestic violence threatens everyone. Anti-Semitism, white supremacy, anti-Muslim violence, hatred doesn't always distinguish. But we are here to say, we're going to stand with Israel today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you.